الرحيم الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده أما بعد. This is the vocabulary for the quote of Ibn Taymiyyah on the people who claim that one should not speak against the people of innovation and clarify misguidance. That quote, as it's quite long, has been broken into two lessons. So this one here is the one for the first lesson. On the wasn't فعل ذكر يذكر أذكر, to mention, or as you know also to make dhikr, right? The masdar is dhikr, the person doing so is ذاكر, and the thing which is mentioned is مذكور. Then on the wazn of افتعل اعتقد, to believe, يعتقد مضارع اعتقد. Then from the masdar we have اعتقاد or عقيدة. Here in the quotes the word اعتقاد is mentioned as a belief. The person believing is a معتقد, and the thing which is believed is معتقد. On the wazn of فعل رأى يرى, the amr رأ. So رأى has mainly two meanings. One is to see something. رأى أحمد البيت, Ahmad saw the house. Or رأى as in to have an opinion, right? الشيخ يرى كذا, the sheikh believes that this is the best way to do it, it's his opinion. This is why the word رأي is very often used in matters of sharia as to say the opinion of a scholar. So the fa'il is ra'in, it's ism manquz, originally ra'i, and the thing which is seen is mar'i. Again, on the wazn of fa'ala, عرف يعرف i'rif ma'rifatun, to know. It is similar to alima. However, the scholars mention differences between al-ilm and al-ma'rifa. And al-ilm is basically at a higher level, and al-ma'rifa, when it's used in the Quran, it is used in a negative light. Here in the text we have ya'rifu, they know something. The person knowing it is arifun, and the thing which is known is ma'rufun. Then we have again on the wazn of fa'ala, jahala yajhalu ijhal jahlun or jahalatun, to ignore something. And the person who is ignorant is a jahilun, and the thing which is ignored, unknown, is majhulun. Further on the wazn of fa'ala again, katama yaktumu uktum, katmun, to hide something or to silence something. And it's used in the sense of remaining quiet or hiding a piece of information. Yaktumul ilm, he is hiding knowledge or information. So the person doing so is katimun, and the thing which is hidden or not spoken about is maktumun. Further on again on the wazn of fa'ala, we have dhamma yadhummu dhumma dhammun, and that is blame, to blame somebody. Adham, the blame or the blameworthiness, the person doing so is dhamun, and the blameworthy individual is madhmumun or also dhamimun. It can be a blameworthy person, a blameworthy action, a blameworthy character trait, etc. All this is used with this word right here. Then on the wazn of af'ala, atlaqa. Now this is a very important word that you will find in an awfully large spectrum of subjects in the knowledge of the Sharia. Atlaqa, if we go back to the original meaning, it means to release something. Like a talaq, which goes back to the same root, it means that basically you are releasing your wife from wedlock. Right? Talaqa, it means to like go openly, like free. Tak, it's taliqun. So atlaqa, it means making the action of talaqa onto something. Yani you're releasing that thing. So the word atlaqa, it's used, for example, to fire. Atlaqa nar, he fired a bullet, right? Or أطلق عليه هذه الكلمة, he fired this word at him, if we can say so, meaning like he labeled him with this word. Or very often, and this is maybe the most important use for a student of knowledge, is أطلق as opposed to مقيد. مقيد means literally chained, but it's used as limited. It means like, for example, in the Quran, when we say تحرير رقبة, تحرير رقبة, freeing a slave. A slave, any slave, male, female, young, old, Muslim, non-Muslim, Arab, non-Arab, etc. Any slave, it's mutlaq, it's open, it's free, right? The word slave it does not have any limitation, as opposed to muqayyad, where it's chained. Yani we are putting a limitation on this slave, which is وَتَحْرِيرُ رَقَبَةٍ مُؤْمِنَةٍ. So now we have limited the ruling of the slave that can be freed in this situation, which is only a believing slave. So when we use the word mutlaqun, which is the maf'ul, we mean what I have just explained to you right now, something which does not have any limitation in its meaning. If I tell you, I want a house, that is mutlaq. Anything that is called a house enters into this meaning. But as soon as I say, I want a big house, now I've limited it. Anything that would be considered a small house is eliminated from my request. So, أطلق يطلق أطلق al-itlaq or itlaqun. That is the fact of freeing, removing limitations. The person doing so is mutliqun, and the thing which is done to is mutlaqun. And it is used in this meaning of generality, not having the meaning limited. And this is also how it's used in this particular paragraph. On the wazn of fa'ala, we have farraqa, yufarriqu, farriq, tafriqun. So we have the word farqun or furqatun, which means farqun, difference. So as we say, the wazn of fa'ala is a ta'diya, making the action upon an object. So farqun is a difference, farraqa is to make the difference, differentiate between two things, or to split between two things. So if we say, for example, farraqa bayna as-salati wa zakah, he made the difference between salah and zakah. Right? Like when we're speaking about rulings, we could say farraqa bayna as-salati wa zakah, for example. Or opposite, lam yufarriq bayna as-salati wa zakah. He did not make the difference in this particular ruling between zakah and salah. Or he could say, like in Surah Al-Baqarah, يفرقون بين المرء وزوجه. Is that correct ayah? Just let me check very quickly. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, ما يفرقون به بين المرء وزوجه. So they are learning that which they are using to split between the husband and his wife. يفرقون. So it's like something which is together, now they are splitting it up. So that is فرق يفرق فرق تفريق. The person doing so is مفرق, and the thing which it is done to is مفرق. Then furthermore, on the wazn of فعل, دل يدل دل دلالة, that is to indicate or to guide, and the one doing so is dalun or dalilun. You heard the word all over the place, dalilun. It does not mean proof, that's burhanun. Dalilun, it means an indicator, meaning, in other words, what is your text indicating, what you're claiming. And then you have madlulun, that is what is indicated. Then on the wazn of أفعل أجمع يجمع أجمع إجماع مجمع مجمع. So إجماع is like اتفق اتفاق is agreement. However, إجماع is used at a higher level of agreement. Like those are يعني topics of usul al-fiqh. When we say, what's the difference when we say اتفق العلماء and أجمع العلماء? In order to keep things fairly simple, we're going to say that both of them means to have consensus, to agree on something. Then on the wazn of أفعل أقر يقر أقر إقرار. So أقر, it mainly has two meanings. One is to admit something. يعني فلان أقر بذلك أقر بخطئه. فلان admitted his mistake. Or فلان أقر ولده على عمله. Fulan approved what his son has done. So it can mean to admit something or to approve something. For example, in the Masail of Usul al-Fiqh, we have what is called al-Iqrar from the Prophet ﷺ. When anything would be done and he would not talk against it, that is considered a form of Iqrar. Means that he approved of it. He didn't rebuke it. So it means it's all right, because his duty is to clarify the haqq. If somebody would have fallen into mistakes, it was his duty to clarify that. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So yuqirru aqirra iqrarun means to approve of something, or at the very least believe it's okay, not positive, not negative. And in the context of this particular paragraph, it is of just like ignoring the matter as if there is nothing wrong with it. So the person doing so is muqirrun, and the thing which it is done to is muqarrun, or the person who's like being approved of is muqarrun. Then on the wazn of fa'ala, we have well-known fi'l, which is ذهب يذهب اذهب, ذهاب and madhabun. So let me explain, and people, this is key. ذهب, we all know the meaning of to go somewhere. ذهب فلان إلى المدرسة. Fulan went to the school or went to school. Fabulous. However, there is another meaning to it. Specifically, let's take the example of matters of fiqh. We have what is called the madhabun. What does madhabun mean? It is ma dhahaba ilay. When you have a matter of ijtihad, where you need to take a decision, are you going to take this way, that way, or the next way? Whatever you decide to take, in Arabic we'll say dhahaba ila dhalik. Yani basically he took that direction, i.e. that was his opinion, that was the way to go for him. So when we speak about a madhabun in fiqh, or other than fiqh, but in fiqh we speak about the Hanbali madhab, the Shafi'i madhab, the Hanafi madhab, and the Maliki madhab. Well, that is the collection of opinions that the Imam of the madhab went to, right? Dhahaba ila dhalik, all right? And it's a bit of a complicated system. But what I want you to understand is that madhab in Sharia is not limited to these four madhahib of fiqh. Whenever a scholar makes an ijtihad and he comes up with an opinion, you can say الشيخ فلان ذهب إلى كذا, right? الإمام الشوكاني ذهب إلى التحريم. يعني الإمام الشوكاني, his opinion was that this thing is not permissible. All right? So when we speak of madhab, and in this particular chapter that we're going to see, in this particular paragraph, the madhab that is intended is not the madhab of fiqh, but maybe a mas'ala or a bundle of masail that a scholar or a group of scholars or a group of people might have gone to, whether it be on the mas'ala of the sharia or a contemporary issue, etc. That will be called the madhab of these people. All right, so it's not just limited to the four madhahib of fiqh. The person doing so is dhahibun, and then we have madhubun, but it's very rarely used. Next, on the wazn of ifta'ala, we have ikhtalafa, we have ikhtalafa, yakhtalifu. Oh, here we have a mistake. Let me correct that very quickly. Yakhtalifu, ikhtalif, ikhtilafun, meaning to disagree. It's the opposite of اتفاق. العلماء اختلفوا في هذه المسألة. The scholars disagreed on this مسألة. هذه المسألة فيها اختلاف. Or المسألة مختلف فيها. Right? And the person doing the اختلاف is مختلف. Or we say مختلف الأشياء, the different things. This is how this word can be used as well. Hope that's clear. Again, on the wazn of ifta'ala, ijtahada, yajtahidu, ijtahid, ijtihadun. So ijtahada, it means to make an effort, to kind of tire yourself in effort to achieve something. That is an ijtihadun. Obviously, in matters of sharia, we mention, or the word ijtihad is used for anything that is not clear cut. When we see, for example, that Allah tells us about the obligation of prayer, there is absolutely no ijtihad involved on whether prayer is obligatory or not. That's not a matter of ijtihad. That's a clear-cut matter. However, whether you have to pay zakah on money that somebody owes you, and it's unclear whether you could claim that money from 1 minute to the next. Now here we don't have that much clear-cut proof. All right, so here it's a matter of ijtihad. Scholars are looking at a broad range of adillah in order to come up with a ruling on this particular matter. So that is a matter of ijtihad. The person doing ijtihad is a mujtahidun, and the maf'ul is mujtahadun. Then on the wazn of fa'ala, we have saga, yasuru, sur, sawrun. Saga, it means to be acceptable. It is not something which is unacceptable. And it's usually going to be used in matters of sharia as in matters where ijtihad is acceptable. Right? When we speak about salah, we see that whether salah is obligatory or not, that's a matter where there is no room for ijtihad. So we say that al-ijtihad la yasur. It's not a matter where there is room for ijtihad. Whereas the matter that I mentioned to you, whether you have to pay zakah on money that somebody owes you, but it's unclear whether you can get it from 1 minute to the next or not, here there is room for ijtihad. Ijtihad is acceptable. So the fa'il of this fi'l is sa'irun, which is also quite common. I don't know of any maf'ul, and I can't really imagine this being used. Then on the wazn of fa'ala, sorry, it's another mistake. Correct this real quick. Fa'ala, we have naza'a, yunazi'u, nazi', and then we have munaza'atun and niza'un. That is dispute. And you see these three matters here are linked in meaning. In matters of ijtihad, very often we have niza'. We have scholars disagreeing. We have ikhtilaf. And then we have niza'. Like the scholars disagree and then they start arguing. Right? That does not mean that they are being harsh to each other or anything like that. However, there is refutations going on. Everybody is presenting their proof and they are, refuting each other or responding to each other. More than refuting, responding would be the best way to put it, in order to bring the debate forward and to get more clarity on the matter and widen the opinions in order to see what is possibly the best opinion in the matter. So the person doing so is munazi'un, and the matter on which it is done to is munaza'un. We say هذه المسألة منازع فيها, for example. Then we have at the very beginning of the paragraph, we have the word iza. That means on the opposite side, versus. Now, so that was it for the first part of this paragraph. We have a second one as well. So this is quite long. It's a big chunk of vocabulary to digest. However, this paragraph is extremely important. I advise you very strongly to give it its rights and put in all the necessary effort to understand it. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.